tax season, the IRS expects more than
All right, tax season is upon us. The IRS is now accepting 2024 federal tax returns. The deadline to file is April 15th.
And joining us to discuss everyone's favorite topic is financial expert Dan Casey of Bridge River Advisors. Thank you so much for being here, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
It's a really important topic. So when it comes to timing, does it matter if you file immediately or right up until the deadline?
So most people wait because they procrastinate, as do I. So the sooner the better, only in the sense that there have been an increase of scams. So if you've already filed your returns, then they're gonna, the scammer's gonna get rejected and they'll move on to the next person. So the sooner the better. And of course, if you want your refund, most people do still get refunds. If you want your refund sooner than later, you should do it sooner, because the longer you wait, obviously, the longer you're gonna have to wait for that refund. As the more returns come in.
I could definitely catch up with you if you procrastinate too long. I'm one of those people.
Yes.
So Dan, something else we have to keep in mind each year are the changes that get implemented. Anything specific that people need to have top of mind?
I think probably the biggest one, there weren't a whole lot of changes, but the biggest one probably for those that get paid through Venmo or get any kind of really income from Venmo or those kind of cash apps things. They did reduce the amount to $5,000. If you get more than that, you do have to start filing tax returns. It was reduced from like $16,000. So that was a big change. Other than that, just a lot of indexing with inflation and things like that. But yeah, no massive changes.
And you mentioned scams. What do scams look like when it comes to filing?
It looks like you go to file your tax returns and the IRS tells you, oh, you've already filed. So that's kind of what so it's really a matter of, making sure that you keep on track of that, making sure that you know how you file with the credit reports to be alerted if anything changes, things like that, to really stay on top of that, because that, like I said, that has been increasing people filing tax returns.
We know a lot of people choose to do it themselves. In terms of the scams that are out there, are there things that people should look out for when they're searching for an engine to use?
As far as it's really any of the major ones, I think, is safe to go with. What's nice is the IRS has actually started to allow you to do it free through the IRS website. So it's a tax return software through the IRS. It's free for some states. Unfortunately, Michigan's not part of that yet, but we should soon have that, so you can even do your taxes for free without using tax software.
And what do you recommend? What's the difference between doing it yourself or hiring a professional? When is it a better case to do either or?
Yeah, I think obviously you have to be comfortable with the numbers, but if you just have a normal W-2 wage, job and a home mortgage, you should probably be able to do it yourself. But then you start throwing in rental houses and your own company and things like that, you probably should get a professional involved.
Yeah, and you also mentioned people who maybe use Cash App, Venmo. There's a lot of different jobs now than the traditional 9 to 5. Anything that those people need to also be making sure that they're watching out for so that they're not facing any issues in the future?
You just have to document all that stuff. So a lot of times it's, the honor system until you're audited, and then you better be able to prove where all that money came from. So yeah, it's really just documenting and staying organized, which a lot of people aren't.
So we know a lot of folks do this themselves, but if they're deciding this year, for whatever reason, they decide to hire someone to do it for them, what are some things to keep in mind when, shopping for an accountant?
I like to, kind of like in my industry, it's best to get a referral from a friend, family or a friend who's used this person before and knows that they're good, and do it that way, as opposed to like right out of the, I was going to say yellow pages, but that just dated me. Right out of the,
we know what you mean.
No, right off the end.
We speak pager.
You do have to, you want to pick one that maybe checks in at the end of the year before the year's over, because then it's too late to make any changes. So it's, so you want to get a proactive one if you can.
Well, some really good advice. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Great to see you as always.
Thank you.